Here is how to blow your interview before it even begins. Most people think that the interview begins the minute you're sitting down face to face with the interviewer, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Your interview actually begins the first contact that the interviewer has with you. So that includes things like how updated your LinkedIn profile is, how well your communication is prior to the interview, looking for typos on your resume, and your overall attitude. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you not only prepare for interviews a little bit better, but will also give you insight on how to set yourself apart from other candidates. Even before the interview begins, recruiters are looking for small communication techniques. So they're going to look at things like how fast you respond to email, how quickly you book a next meeting, if you confirm, and additionally, how well your written communication style is during this interview process. So there are a few things that you can do to set yourself apart and make sure you have a smooth interview process. So the first is replying to emails quickly. This is the best thing that you can do for the recruiter, because a lot of times recruiters are hiring when a company has already needed to fill this role for 3+ weeks. So they're working on a little bit of a timeline. If you're quick and responsive, that's going to be a very good sign for the recruiter. And it's also going to demonstrate that in the workplace, you're easy to get a hold of and easy to communicate with. And then additionally, whenever you do have written communication with the recruiter, make sure you're sending confirmation emails. If you get an email from a recruiter about a time, it is absolutely appropriate to confirm that time with them via email and also ask if there's anything that you can do to better prepare for the interview. Recruiters absolutely love this behavior. It's going to definitely set you apart. And then finally, just please make sure that you look for any typos, not only in your resume, but also in the emails that you're sending to the recruiter. Because if you have typos in the interview process, which is when you're supposed to be on your best behavior, it can show that you're not very detail oriented. The second thing that is absolutely going to set you apart is how good of a temperament you have and how easy you are to work with. Going through the interview process is almost like a mini workshop to see how you'll be in the workplace and on the day-to-day job. If you're creating a lot of requests and a lot of demands up front, that can be a relatively bad sign for recruiters. Absolutely, it's good to have boundaries and it's good to state your expectations of the job up front, but please make sure that you do this before the interview process begins. If you're getting to a final stage interview and you're starting to negotiate salary or terms and conditions, that's already too late. And that's going to be a major detriment to you. Do these things early because that's going to put you ahead of candidates who are waiting until the last minute to start to negotiate terms of the contract. Additionally, when you're asked for something by the recruiter, make sure that you always have a good temperament and respond very nicely. Even if you decide to have or to take another job, a recruiter, if they like you, will often send you other recommendations in the future if it's a good and pleasant experience. And then even if it comes down to you actually end up taking another job, make sure you communicate with that recruiter. You never know what's going to happen in the future, and you want to make sure that you have allies that you can reach back out to. I can't tell you how many times I've parted ways with a candidate or they've gone another direction, and then we've actually ended up working together a few months down the line because they were communicative with me, and then they also were very kind in the emails, which made me realize that they were actually a good candidate. Finally, and I really think that this is such an odd piece, but so important. Recruiters and anybody hiring is absolutely going to look if you put in your 2 weeks or not. If you don't put in your 2 weeks and you start immediately, that is such a bad sign. And it's because it shows that you're willing to just drop all of your previous commitments. So if you're willing to do that to the company you're currently working for, when it's time for you to look for another job with the company you're moving into, you're likely to do the same with them. This doesn't apply if you're unemployed and you're actively searching. I actually recommend trying to start as soon as possible in that case. But if you have a job, please make sure you put in your 2 weeks, because that is such a red flag or warning sign to recruiters and employers if you're willing to just drop everything at the drop of a hat. I hope those tips were helpful. I've interviewed thousands of people during the course of my career. My name is Paris Bland. I'm the founder of Digital Executive. We help companies in the United States find team members in South America. If you have any questions or want any feedback on your interview processes, even if it's not with us, I'm absolutely available and can definitely give you some resources or point you in the right direction. And if you're interested in learning more about Digital Executive or what we do, please check out our link in the description or just send us a message. Thanks, y'all.